Today we're going to show you guys the best controller settings on NBA 2K25. Let's go ahead and get into it. Up first, for your vibration function, this is all preference. I set this to off. Then for your trigger effect, this is going to be turned off as well. For shot timing profile, this is very important. This is one of the most important settings that you're going to do on this game, so pay attention. As you can see, it says the impact of timing jump shots automatically adjusts to match the difficulty you are playing. So you're not going to want to do real player percent or difficulty based. You're going to pay attention to the low risk, normal risk, and high risk reward settings. As you can see, high risk reward says that jump shot timing considerably affects the shot outcome, with a higher chance at making shots with great timing, but also a higher chance to miss with poor timing. So if you are good and you've been playing 2K for a long time, or even a mid-level player, you know how to time a jump shot. So you're going to want to set this to high risk, high reward. Now, I loaded up on the twos with Cheese, and he was on difficulty based, and he was able to actually knock down whites and miss time jump shots. But he was not getting as many greens, and he did find himself missing a little bit more. If you are a better player, I recommend doing the high risk reward. This is going to be on stage, ranked modes, pro-am, and all those other competitive game modes like events. So you're going to want to get used to the high risk reward. But if you're a casual player, you can get away with difficulty based as well as low risk reward and normal risk reward. But I recommend you stay away from something like real player percent. So for me, I'm going to go with high risk reward. For your layup timing profile, this is going to be the same story. You're looking to be high risk, high reward here. That way, whenever you actually time your layups properly, you'll have a better chance at making the tougher layups and more contested layups. But you will also have a chance of missing your layups if you are not timing them. So if you don't time your layups, just leave this on low risk reward. But for me, I'm going to do high risk reward. Up next, your free throw timing, you're going to leave this on user timing. For shot timing visual cue, this is all preference, but push and release are by far the easiest timings for people who are new to the game. So if you are new, I recommend do not use jump and set point. Stay in tuned with push and release until you get used to those, and then try out the other ones. Now for shot meter input, this is all going to be left on, but you will actually turn these off in the HUD. You can actually physically turn off your jump shot meter to get a 20% boost to your green window. Make sure you guys go into the HUD, go to shot meter, and make sure you turn it off for jump shots, free throws, and layups, and don't turn it off in this actual setting. This will give you a 20% boost to your green window in NBA 2K25. Up next, for pro stick function, you're going to leave this default so you can use it for both dribbling and shooting. That allows you to take floaters as well as fading jump shots with your stick and be able to do things like shot canceling. For your pro stick orientation, you're going to leave this as absolute. That way it's not relative to your camera, so when you're on the right side of the court, you don't have to like angle your analog stick more to the right or left based on how you're actually viewing your player from the camera angle. Off ball offensive mode, you're going to leave this on absolute, so it's still directly correlating the same way whenever you're going around the court, and you don't have to change your angle of your analog stick to move a certain direction. For your double team reaction, you're going to leave this to auto. That way your players will automatically cut whenever they sense their point guard getting double teamed on a screen or just in a dribbling situation on the perimeter. For your help defensive button, you're going to leave this to double team. Call for help will allow your AI to play a little bit more help defense, but it's not going to be guaranteed, so I would leave this set to double team. Call for pick and roll versus fade, you're going to leave this to manual. All you have to do is simply hold your P and R button, and you will be able to select fade or roll. I do not recommend setting this to auto. Player icons is going to be left on, but this is all preference. For skip pass, you're going to want to leave this enabled. That way you have the ability to throw skip passes if you hold your primary pass button to throw to the farthest guy down the floor. This is the way that people did L1, R1 essentially back in the day whenever they took it out. Well, not back in the day, like last year. All you have to do is just simply hold X when grabbing a rebound, and he would skip the ball to the farthest man down the floor. Icon lead passing, you're going to want to leave this on. That way you can hit your characters in stride whenever they are on the break. Your pro stick pass type is going to be set to flashy. That way, whenever you want to actually flashy pass, all you have to do is pass with your analog stick instead of double pressing a button. You simply will pull up the icons and then flick your analog stick in the direction that you want to pass the ball. Now for icon passing, you're going to set this to full receiver control. The reason I say this is when you hold the receiver's icon, you can control them and manually take them to cut or pop to a corner. When you let go of the button, it will actually pass the ball, so you can control where the receiver will be catching the ball. But this only works in quick play, the 3-on-3 my team modes, and other certain modes. You cannot do this in the park. You cannot control your friend's player and decide how they're going to actively get open. For your receiver control, you're going to follow up with the setting above. You're going to set this to full receiver control. Now, this is a new setting. They have not had it in the years past. This is the hold lob pass button setting. You can actually set this to tell your AI to cut to the the basket whenever you hold the lob pass button, which I personally am going to set because I think this is going to be very overpowered for my team. Now, this is a very important setting. I would say my #1 setting, especially for people that play guard. I did not realize this was actually in the game until I was sitting in Learn 2K and my player was literally just changing hands for no reason while dribbling still. You're going to turn this off, that way it does not affect your dribble moves. If you do not turn this off, you will find your player randomly changing hands with the ball when you're trying to use the pro stick to dribble. For pro stick defense, you're going to set this to absolute. I don't know why defaults to camera relative. It actually has never done this in the years past, so I'm curious to see how many people will leave this on by accident and struggle to play defense this year. Your shading indicator is going to be left on. This will tell you if you are in front of a player on defense. Who to guard, you're going to want to leave this on, as it will tell you who you should be guarding whenever you come down the floor, especially when you're playing with people that you don't know, because you never really know who your man is truly going to be, and you might get stuck guarding the wrong person coming down the floor. For box out assist strength, for all of my centers, man, you're going to want to yank this all the way up to 100. That way your player becomes more sticky when trying to box out your opponent, especially when trying to box out users. For pass target profile, this is going to only work in offline mode. When you set this to openness, it will actually force the ball to the most open player that NBA 2K will actually consider open. So for instance, if that guy is wide open in the corner and his guy is sagging off to the paint, it will literally force it to the corner. For my newbies that don't icon pass every single time, you're definitely going to want to set this to openness, but it will not work in online modes such as the park and rec. For pass target direction, distance, and openness, you are not going to change this because you just changed your pass target profile set to openness. Now for the last settings that you're going to want to make sure to change, motion blur sets by default to 50. You're going to want to turn this all the way off and go ahead and set that to 0. Now for your camera, you're going to want to set this to NBA 2K low or NBA 2K. I prefer 2K, and then I'm going to set that to 3 for my zoom, and height is going to be 10. And then you're going to go to options, customize HUD. When you are in the custom HUD, you're going to want to go to the shot feedback. Now for shot feedback, you're going to want to make sure you have this on for all shots. That way, when you release a jump shot, a layup, a free throw, it actually tells you the timing, the excellent, the very early, and the slightly earlies, as well as the very late. Those timings will allow you to critique your jump shot, maybe switch it to push, maybe switch it to set point, those other release points that we talked about. But if you don't have shot feedback on, you will not know how to make those adjustments. Then you're going to have the coverage setting. You're going to want to make sure this is on. That way you know when a jump shot is wide open, open, slightly covered, or tight coverage. Those slightlys and those opens can be hard to make, so you want to make sure that you're shooting only wide open jump shots in this game. If you don't have this setting on, you will not be able to tell if it is a wide open jump shot, so make sure you guys go to your HUD and turn this on. Then to turn off your actual shot meter, you're going to go to shot meter shots, set visibility for shots to off, visibility for layups off, visibility for free throws off, and then none of these will actually matter because your shot meter will not be on.